Hello, everyone. Good evening. Good morning, wherever you may be. I am signing in just a minute or two early because technology has been giving me a little hard time this week with the presentation. So just wanted to make sure everyone's in and on, not, wait till the start of the hour. So I like to do an audio visual check, like the club back in high school, where if you type AV for me, it means you see my screen and you hear my voice clearly. So please type me an audio visual AV, just AV, don't worry about the whole set of words. Thank you so much, appreciate it. See all the confirmation here, fantastic. And you should be seeing a screen that says more than mean reversion, trading with RSI Power Zones. And we're going to get started in just a minute here. So you're going to hear my story briefly, and you'll therefore find out where I'm coming to you from. But where are you guys dialing in from? Given the time of day, I'm assuming we have mostly U.S., Canada, maybe some Asian, Australian representation early in the morning. All right, Sacramento, New Jersey, Germany, Frostbite Falls, Minnesota. Craig, sounds lovely. Spokane, Washington, I've been there. Nevada, of course, Chicago, Arizona, Ottawa. Nice. Oh, Germany, you're up late, Andreas. New Jersey, East Coast represent. Fort Worth, Texas, must be nice and steamy down there. Hot Atlanta. Awesome. Okay, guys, well, I see the time. It is 7 p.m. Eastern. It's Thursday night. You guys might have fun, crazy plans ahead of you, or maybe just market research, which can be fun too. So let's not keep you waiting. Anybody who's just kind of strolling on in now, if you can hear me and see my screen, go ahead and type in AV for audio visual, and then we're gonna get started because we have a lot to cover. And I'm committed to giving you a tool tonight that you can go off and use on your charts, any market, any time frame, with practice, of course. So let me go in my official start voice. We are recording, yeah, just for backup, John. It's just, we do it obviously for record's sake, but I never really know how the quality will turn out. So there's no guarantee we'll be sharing this recording. But with that, I will take a swig of water and we'll go into official recording mode. Okay. Hi, everyone. It's Hima Reddy here. You're with me on Thursday, October 4, 2018 for More Than Mean Reversion, trading with RSI Power Zones. If at any time you have an issue with seeing the screen or hearing my voice, feel free to type in the question box. And if I see that's an issue for more than one or two people, we'll definitely look into it. But for now, everything seems to be good. So, important reminder, trading and investing can be extremely risky business. This slide full of words and this company name Seller Wealth are here to warn you about that. That's just my entity name, if you will. The key here is that whatever you learn tonight, it's your responsibility to evaluate those opinions, information, advice, etc. The tools I've been using for a long, long time, but that doesn't mean that you're guaranteed to be successful with them. That's just how life works. So practice makes profit, right? Go ahead and take the tools, practice them on a simulator, on actual paper trades, then you feel comfortable, go ahead and apply them to your markets, but know that the risk is yours. This is a very important disclosure warning, especially for anyone new to trading. So please confirm you understand this by typing a D for disclosure, and we will move on. Everyone in the room, whether you're new to trading or been doing it for a long time, I appreciate it because knowing the risks is half the battle, right? All right, awesome. So this is me, Hima Reddy, been studying the markets for over 16 years, and I first learned about them from my dad when I was a teenager. So I was inspired by what I learned, knew I wouldn't find out more in high school. So when I went off to college, I chose Indiana University, leaving my home state of New York, and I studied finance, watched a lot of basketball, go Hoosiers, but I graduated on time. And I had this shiny, fancy fundamental finance degree, but no knowledge of charts, investing, trading, momentum, volume, none of that. So I said, Dad, I want to do what it is that I see you doing in the evening and on the weekends. How do I learn? He said, well, why don't you move back home, work part-time, and I will teach you. So in this self-made father-daughter graduate school, he handed me this book called How to Make Profits Trading in Commodities. And it was written by W.D. Gann. As you can tell from the photo here, Gann is not of the modern era. He was a writer and a trader back in the early 1900s, but his concepts stood the test of time, and that's why my dad used that as my intro to technical analysis. Now, a book is great and all, but you need to actually observe price action to understand how the concepts work. So my dad set me up with TradeStation software, and he had me look at this one chart, just this, E-mini S&P 500 futures, 1 minute bar chart. Any of you trade futures, please type in F for futures for me. And this was my intro to the markets, guys. Not stocks, not forex, not anything calm. I was thrown into the lion's den, watching the ES, and this is just a few years after the market opened, so it was crazy volatile. But my job was to stare at this chart for 3 hours a day. Just stare, no trading yet. Every day for 6 weeks. Basically half the summer after I graduated college. You can imagine my attention span wasn't too great. But again, self-made father-daughter grad school, living at home, not paying rent. I'm going to do my homework, right? So I started watching the charts and reading the book and alternating back and forth. And it didn't take very long for me to recognize what you see here, different buy and sell opportunities emerging on the ES charts. So I took things another step further and I said, hey, if I actually kind of make illustrations for myself of these signals, taking Gann's words and turning them into pictures, that might help me out. And here's some of the examples of what I did. Again, all on my own, just to improve my own learning, because at that time, there weren't a ton of technical analysis textbooks readily accessible that were being talked about everywhere. You had to really kind of dig deep to find them. So I took things another step further after a few months when I realized that preparation ahead of the market trading session was key to consistent profits. So what I did was I started writing what I call the skinny on the mini. Now, this is just English slang. Skinny is low down, essence, key points, important parts. And obviously this was the E-mini. So I wrote this brief little report, like you can see here, just a few paragraphs. I even emailed them to my dad, sometimes reminding him when he missed one. And we started comparing analysis notes. Now, after a little while, my dad said, hey, Hima, your skinny on the mini is pretty good. I'm actually using it to cut losses on my ES trades and boost profits on them as well. So I kind of had a revelation moment. I was like, I think I'm onto something. And while trading is a really great way to have a career, have independence, reach your goals, not have a boss except for yourself in the market, right? I clearly had a knack for analysis, so I wanted to go the corporate professional route. So with my dad's blessing, I went and sought out the CMT Association, and I studied for the Chartered Market Technician designation. That's just a real fancy phrase for professional chart reader, professional supply demand analyst, whatever you want to call it. And after passing the exams, I got my first job on Wall Street. Now, I've been in this job for a couple years. It was an independent research firm in Manhattan. I was focused on fixed income and FX technical analysis. It was great, just charts all day. But people heard my unique story about my work with Gann, right? That I had to take all these complex concepts from a father who was great at introducing things, but not a professional educator, and turn them into things I could understand. So a publisher got wind of this and said, would you write your own book introducing people to Gann's works? And I was like, okay, why not? So my book, The Trading Methodologies of W.D. Gann, came out in 2012. And obviously my life kind of changed around from there. Because once you publish a book, then people are kind of coming at you, right? And they want more information, especially if they think it's going to help their performance in the markets. So not only had my dad been seeing the skinny on the mini, now I had book readers, webinar attendees, just like you guys, my technical analysis colleagues, all kinds of folks getting this information. So I thought, all right, this is a great way to spread the Gann love, right? Teach technical analysis in Gann's work. And life carried on, and I met a nice boy from the Midwest. This is my husband. He grew up in Wisconsin. Wisconsin is next to Minnesota. Like I said, I'm an East Coaster. I didn't know this geography until I went to college in Indiana. So that's why I'm sharing it with you. But believe it or not, he has converted me fully into this t-shirt wearing, bratwurst eating, Green Bay Packers football fan. In fact, where we live now, which is not anywhere in Wisconsin, we have found a Packers dedicated bar, and we're there every Sunday. So given our move to Minnesota, in which I actually also got a job we moved from my husband's job, but I got a job in a equity research division at an investment bank. Now, the key there is investment bank, right? You can't do any of your own research on the side. So I had to go back to all the people getting the skinny on the mini and say, guys, sorry, I can't publish this anymore. I need to just go do my corporate job. And then they started telling me how sad they'd be to see it go. They were naming all sorts of ways how they were using the information in the report, which was still free at that time, to boost their performance. And I thought, okay, I've got to bring this back. I'm not sure when or how, but I will. My husband and I, we move, not because we like to. Moving is probably one of the worst, most traumatic things a person can do, frankly. But we take advantage of opportunities that come our way. And my husband keeps outdoing himself in his field. And so he got a great promotion for a great job back in my home state of New York. Since then, he's got an even better position in St. Louis, Missouri. And we actually just moved here a month ago. So we have been all over. And in moving from Minnesota to New York, that was back in 2016, I had to leave my sell side job, right? That's natural. So I thought, okay, I'm just going to go look for another corporate position because I'm really good as an analyst and pays well. But then my dad passed away. And not only was that personally obviously very devastating, my parents had a very traditional Indian marriage, if you will, where my mom didn't really know anything about finances or legal matters. She raised her 4 kids well, but when he was gone, she didn't know what to do. So I realized that I cannot just continue living my own little isolated life with my husband. I need to be available and helpful to my mom forever. And I need to guide my younger siblings because now my dad was gone. So I decided to forget the corporate route, come back to trading, and come back to the skinny. So I went back to everyone who'd been getting the report for years. Then it went away, right? And I said, look, guys, I want to bring it back, but how about we do it as just a real basic subscription fee? And they started paying me for it. Just take a moment there, not only to process that I've had my ups and downs, like you guys probably have too, but that in all of this, there was this little freebie thing floating out there that when people came back to it and were being charged a reasonable fee, actually were investing in it. That's how useful it was to them. Now, what you're about to learn tonight is a derivation of all the research that I put into the skinny and the mini every day, because it's applicable to any market on any time frame. And this is what my subscribers wanted to learn, not just my daily research, that little report. They wanted to learn the methods so that they could apply them themselves. So before we dive into today's lesson, I want to make sure you're all still with me. You know who I am, and you're going to stick around. So please type an S for me. S for skinny, S for sticking around, and we'll keep it moving. Awesome. Thank you. Now, part of what helped me develop these lessons and these tools was in partnering with TradeThirsty, which I think because they're hosting me tonight, you all should have heard it by now. And here I am, with colleagues who have been in this field of education for such a long time. And it's their experience and expertise that's helped me shape the education in a way that you can ingest. That's why I share this and make this shout out, because I don't think people are just born teachers. They may have a natural inclination, but they need some structure. And I didn't have any formal education in it, right? So it's their help that helped me bring to you what I'm about to show you. So the concept that I'm going to teach you is in a couple of my different educational courses, but I'm going to highlight one tonight, and I'm actually going to teach you a slice out of it. But first, let's get the basic concept down. So you should see a football field on your screen that is not in error. And with this football field, we're going to talk momentum, okay? But first, we're going to talk football just for a few minutes. So here we've got a field that's 0 to 100 yards, the green space. And we've got the Green Bay Packers on one end. Woohoo, go Pack, go. Now, who would you say is like their sworn enemy, their greatest rival in the history of American football? Any guesses? I'm sure I have some football fans in here. All right, so yeah, I would say the Midwest is a good place to start. Narrow it down from there. Yes, Vikings could be. Alan, we did live in Minnesota. We saw the hate relationship, but I would agree with most of the guesses here, the Bears, the Chicago Bears. So whether it's these two rival teams or any other, they have the same goal, but they're moving in opposite directions. Sounds a lot like the market, right? Bulls and Bears. Well, when the Packers have the ball, on a football field. They have to get through the Bears defense, get to their end zone to score points, right? Nothing happens in the middle of the field. Lots of running around, tackling, injuries, but everyone's goal is to get to the end zone. Whether it's kicking the ball through the posts here, those goal posts, or running the ball or throwing the ball in for a touchdown, which is more points. When it's the Bears' turn, it's the same objective, just in a different direction. They've got the ball. They want to get through the Packers' defensive line and get to the end zone. So remember the key from this, nothing happens unless you get to your zone, okay? And keep that with you. What we're going to do is take this football field, turn it on its head, squish it down, and drop it as a subchart. Here we've got a momentum indicator plotted against the E-mini S&P 500 daily futures chart. So what is this indicator? Well, it's the relative strength index. And I'd love to know how many of you have heard of the RSI or traded with it. You can just type in R for me. It's been around for a long time. In fact, 1978 is when Mr. Wells Wilder put this out into the world after his own research, calculations, etc. Okay. And one thing that he did that we are not changing, we're going to change everything else though, is what you see here of the standard setting. Okay, we are not changing the standard setting. It is vitally important that the way we use the indicator going forward, you leave the setting as 14. So what does that mean? We're on a daily chart, it'll be 14 days. If you're on a 60-minute chart, it means 60 bar or 14 60-minute bars back. And so what I'm going to show you here is first the traditional approach, then my adjustments, and then I'm going to teach you a continuation of trend trade. You may have learned my other signals that are more about catching market turns with the indicator. Andy, I think that's what you're talking about. But I'm actually going to show you how to trade with the trend with the RSI. So here's what we're going to do. Still 0 to 100. Let's just review real quick the traditional measures, because a lot of you seem to use it. When this indicator, which always lives between 0 and 100, okay, it's an oscillator, so it has a bound range. It's not an index that just goes all over the place. If it goes above 70, which is this upper black line, that is where sell signals live. It's not automatic, that's just where they live. So here on TradeStation, the indicator automatically turns red, and you would use price analysis and other methods to determine the entry signal. Now, you can see that this is a little bit of a problem in a strong trending market, right? Here we got this strong trend in the E-mini, but look at how many times it got you into top picking mode. Only this one was really that great. And maybe this was good for profit taking, but otherwise you wouldn't want to only focus on that. Similar issue for the other side of the story. When the RSI indicator falls below 30, that's where buy signals live. So here, fantastic buy signal. I'm thinking we all would be very, very happy with it. But what about everything before that in this strong uptrend? Or everything that's happened since the summer with the breakout higher? How do we take advantage of that using the RSI? Well, here's how. When it comes to using only the standard approach to overbought, oversold, we're going to politely call BS. And here's what we're going to do. Now, I learned about the following in my CMT preparations. Okay, I did not invent the following numbers, but everything from there, everything after the next two slides is all Hima. Okay, so you're not going to learn this anywhere else. So make sure you stick around, and this is when you need to perk up if you've been kind of dozing off with the story and the pictures. Remember the Bears, the Chicago Bears. They have to get to their zone to make anything happen, right? They live in a certain part of the field, and they like moving through their zones. That's where they get points. The market bears are the same way. So this is where you want to grab a pen, keep your phone ready to take an image, a snapshot, screenshot, whatever, for your own reference. We are now going to take this traditional RSI and apply what are called power zones. Zones, that name came from me from the football analogy, and power because they are powerful. There are 4 zones, 2 bearish, 2 bullish. The first is this bearish resistance power zone. From 55 to 65. That is what captures overbought conditions when you're in a bear or downtrending market. Now, when you're in a bear or downtrending market and you're looking for oversold conditions, that lower boundary, the RSI power zones look at 20 down to 30 or 30 down to 20, not just the 30 line, right? So these two zones, which on my updated indicator in the next slides, you'll see as singular lines, like two red lines on 55 and 65, two red lines on 20 and 30, that designates the bear zones. So we expect in a weak or sideways market that we're not going to get that overbought to the upside, and we'll get more oversold to the downside. If you've got the numbers, you're getting the general idea, please type a C for Chicago Bears when you're ready, and then I'll move to the bull zones. Okay. The market bulls, they have their own territory as well. And just like you might suspect, it is away from the bull or the bear zones. When a market is in a strong uptrend or climb higher, we are expecting it to get oversold up at 80 to 90 on the RSI, not a little 70. So take a look at this chart here. If you look at this strong move higher and now come back, you had such fewer signals for overbought. Don't you think that if you had been long at any point, whether you're day trading or doing an option strategy or trading something that moves a lot in correlation to the ES, for example, oil maybe, that knowing this information would have prevented you from picking a top too early? Absolutely, because you had less overbought area to look at. For the lower boundary, the support zone, it's from 40 to 50 when you apply power zones, not down at 30. This makes perfect logical sense. A strong market should get oversold at a higher cushion than just regular any old market. And this, when you have an example of an uptrend and you're looking at the bull support power zone, is the real force behind it. How about that buy signal? How about that buy signal? How about that one? Not too shabby, right? We all survived the consolidation. Before it starts to break out, where did it hold? Bull support power zone. Came back, bull support power zone. Hasn't been back since, based on this chart, which is just from a couple weeks ago. So if you can see the value in using the entire 0 to 100 range, and that might help shape your trades better, then go ahead and type Z for zone, and we're going to get into some examples. Now, with these examples, I'm going to teach you an actual signal that you could apply to the RSI analysis, and from there, trade with the trend, okay? Very, very rarely do people teach momentum trading with trading with the trend. They're always using it to pick tops and bottoms. And I teach that as well, but not tonight. So what I'm going to show you now is a slice out of top trading strategies using RSI Power Zones. That is a course I have, and you'll get a chance to sign up for it tonight. But I'm teaching you one lesson out of it. Here's the name of the signal. RSI Trendline Buy Signal. This is an illustrative slide, so I'm going to slow it down a little, and everyone pay attention. Then we're going to go through a few examples in depth, and I'll have more at the end if you need them, or we'll go to your markets and take a look at how the RSI power zones are behaving, okay? I'm going to leave that part up to you. But this is the signal, right? So you're going to see the power zones on the next slides where I have an actual chart, but now is an actual signal to apply to it. Step one, price has to be in an uptrend. Either an uptrend that's in place like this illustration, sequence of higher highs and higher lows, or an uptrend that is forming. Why would this one that I just drew here be forming? Well, let's say that this was some sort of consolidation period and we had a lower high in it, and then we start to get a breakout above and a formation of a higher low. This is just one of many GAN type signals, okay? So it can be the traditional uptrend in place or formation of an uptrend, that turning into an uptrend. What you look for is to draw an RSI trend line, okay, on the indicator where this rising trend line connects RSI lows, and the most important part is that the second of the lows, the higher low, is forming in the bull support power zone. Remember, that was 40 to 50, and you're going to see that again. I'm going to walk you through step-by-step examples, okay? So let me just kind of do a little drawing here. We're looking at price on top, we're looking at RSI on bottom, and what we're looking for in the RSI is a situation where we can draw a trend line connecting, knowing already that price is in an uptrend. After this occurs, the third touch and the third touch only of the RSI trend line is your RSI buy signal. That's what gets you geared up to actually take a long trade. So again, price is up here. The RSI we're looking for, that's the second low, third low. We're looking for a situation where on this third touch, you go back up to price and look, and you refine with candles and other things, and you go long. And then hopefully get a nice move out of it. It's important that you only look for the third touch. And I'm going to revisit that later as to why not the fourth, why not the fifth, excuse me. But if you have this illustration down, please type 3 for third high or low. And then I'm going to go into examples. Okay. I try to mix it up. I don't do little yes, no's because you all are just out there and, you know, the interwebs, and I can't see you. I only can see your answers. So the key here, like I just said, remember to use price action to confirm the signal. So the beauty of RSI Power Zones, as many of you know, is that they can be used for analysis and signals on any active market in any time frame. Here are a few examples. If you see an asset class that you observe or study, or if you see a time frame that you use, well, then I'm obviously resonating with you because these are just some of the vast variety of markets you can use. Now, I will say this. I've got time frames here. I do not have tick charts here. Tick charts, if you trade them, you can still come do all this analysis. Just do it on a higher time frame chart, a 5-minute, a 3-minute, a 15-minute, whatever you're comfortable with, okay? Because the signals on the tick chart, due to the lack of consistent time intervals, will not work the same way. So let's do an individual stock daily chart, something recent, something relevant. How about Google? I think we all Google something once a day, if not know the massive size of this company, you know, its activity, FANG stock, all of that. All of my charts are labeled, as you saw with the ES. So if you ever get lost in what we're looking at or what the time frame is, it's right up here. Google, daily chart, every candle is 1 day. And this was a period of January 2nd to last Friday, September 28th. All this blank white space here is not the market closed for months and months. It's just me covering up the price action and the RSI so that you can learn and not be so focused on the right side of the chart. Okay, so bring your eyeballs to where we are right now, the beginning of the white space. Now, take your eyeballs down and let me make sure everyone recognizes this new indicator. This is the RSI Power Zones indicator. And this is on TradeStation, plotted as you see here. I also have it available for other platforms, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that later. But remember I said that the green zones are the bull. So bull resistance up here, bull support down here, and then the red zones are where the bears live. Okay, so I have this RSI stretched out a little bit, so you can't even see the 20 down below, but that's okay. Now, we're gonna walk through slowly what I saw here. Step 1, price uptrend in place. Higher high, higher low, higher high. Pretty straightforward, right? Now we look at that price action and see, can I draw a trend line on the RSI itself, joining such that the second higher low is in the bull support power zone, the 2 lower green lines. Everybody take a look and see if you can, in your own mind's eye, draw that. And then I'm gonna draw it out for you, okay? 3, 2, 1. How about that low? Joining this low. How about we draw out a line? Note that on indicators, I always use dashed lines because I am technical analysis person through and through. And if I draw a solid line, it will trick me into thinking that momentum is more important than price. Nothing's more important than price, guys. Okay, price and time, and that's a different conversation, work hand in hand. Momentum is important and useful, but it doesn't overtake price. So I draw a dashed line to remind me of that. Now, we drew the line. Now what? Now we wait to see if we get a signal. This is the setup. This is you preparing for the opportunity. Here, we got a third touch. We got a pullback in price, and that coincided with the pullback in the RSI that made a third touch of this line. If you had it drawn out, the touch will just show up. You will see it. This becomes your buy setup, and then you go and use price to confirm. There's lots of intricacies to that, but for now, let's look at how the signal overall plays out. All right, so this is the price action that you're going to watch. Take your buy setup, and then here's what unfolded after that. Let's just be super conservative and assume that you were able to make a long trade, but you got out sometime after this high. Okay, we're not going to pretend that we all have stomachs of steel and that we would tolerate this pullback and then make our way up here. You might, but I think majority of people would not, especially if they're doing an option play or something on Google, right? It's a very volatile moving stock. But even if you just look at the lowest low and the highest high in that conservative move, let's see what the size of that move was, just for perspective here. I do this on some chart examples. So on May 29th, we had a low at $1,063.08. On June 20th, the top of the green arrow, we had a high at $1,201.49. That's a $138.41 move over that time period. And actually, if I do the math real quick, just on my little calculator here, we can figure out what percentage move that is, again, to give you some perspective. That is a 13% move. All from one signal I just told you, but you would only see that signal if you were using RSI Power Zones. Otherwise, we're probably just lost in the wind of momentum indicators swirling around. All right, so if you follow that illustration, it makes sense. You need to see more. Go ahead and type a G for Google, and I'm gonna get some water. Okay, great. Now, I'm gonna teach you the bearish counterpart because it's pretty straightforward, it's almost exact, and then I have more bull examples later at the end. But what I do is whenever I kind of bring my courses out to be available, I really like to update the examples, especially for a simple signal like this, right? If this is a useful signal that happens often enough for you guys to make use of, then I should be able to, within not even a couple hours, look at big markets, popular markets, active markets, and see this emerge. So we will have more examples towards the end, but I have just a few now to walk through slowly. Before we go to the next one, like I said, we're looking at the counterpart, okay? So the exact same type of signal, but all now like opposite, like it's looking through a mirror, and now it's the bearish version. So we want to establish that there's a price downtrend, either in place, okay, lower lows, lower highs, or forming. This is a pretty common example. It looks a little bit like, let's see here. If I do that and I do that, it's a little October Halloween ghost, but you probably know it as a head and shoulders, right? That would be the neckline. And then you would look for a break below, and then you'd sell in a retracement. This is just an example of a situation in which a downtrend may be forming, so then you can be on the lookout for this move. Step 2 is the same, but just from the opposite perspective. We are now looking to join highs on the RSI, and we want a falling trend line. Oh gosh, rising, no, that's a typo. See, this is what happens when you update slides, you move things around, and then you don't catch it. I proofread these, but hey, you know, the eyeballs are only so reliable. Okay, falling trend line, joining RSI highs, everything else here is right, with the second lower high forming in the bear resistance power zone. Falling trend line. So here we have price still, whatever that is. Here we have RSI, because let's say that it started to move down. Here we have RSI. Now we're looking for that second high to draw a falling trend line. Third touch of the RSI trend line equals the sell signal. So price moving along, maybe it rallies or consolidates, and that third touch right here is your sell signal. Not the fourth, not the fifth. You're looking for the third. 1, 2, 3. Okay, there's important GAN and timing reasons for this. That, like I said, I have brought this. I didn't learn this in CMT. So this is the sell signal, and now we're going to go to an example. And of course, remember to use price action to confirm the signal. Okay, I fixed the typo here, but I want everyone to know, remember, this is a falling line. So please type an F for me if you understand that everything else on this slide was right, and that's the only correction I'm making. Pretty straightforward, but I just want to make sure we got it. I didn't glaze over you. If you want to take a photo, take it now of my beautiful 5-year-old style handwriting using a mouse. Okay, I swear I have better penmanship. All right, now Australian dollar futures. I brought this one up as a gift for one of my Skinny on the Mini subscribers. She asked about it every month. She trades this, she trades oil, she trades other things. And I realized that I have a lot of traders interested in learning methods for forex trading, whether it's the futures or the actual pairs. So if you're a forex trader, please type an X for forex. And you'll see that this is applicable in that arena as well. So here we've got futures, right? Australian dollar futures, daily chart back from January, price downtrend. Well, that's not a shocker. Lower highs, lower lows, just persisting all the way. So what do we look for? Step 2, we look for a falling trend line joining RSI highs with the second high forming in the bear resistance power zone. Okay. Now, that third touch of that line becomes the sell setup. Third touch is right here. It's respecting the trend line, and now we have a sell setup, but we use price to confirm. So here on price, we had a little recovery rally going, but you can see that we started to have a little red candle after holding the RSI trend line. Here's the move that unfolded. Okay. Moving along. Equity index future on a 60-minute chart. Oh, I don't know. How about the E-mini S&P? And those of you who are in the room who are Skinny subscribers, you will be able to attest to the fact that I pointed this signal out to you just last week. Okay, it happens often enough. So here we are, guys. If you're not familiar with futures, ES-Z18 means ES contract, December is the Z symbol, 18, December 18 front month. 60-minute chart. I'm using all the trading, so my Globex settings are turned on. Okay, I'm not just looking at US trading hours. And this image, when you look all the way to the right, was captured as of September 27th, 8:42 a.m. Eastern. Again, I'm covering up in white for educational purposes. So let's all bring our eyeballs back up here. Price downtrend in place. Lower high after a lower low. Falling trend line joining RSI highs with the second high forming in the bear resistance power zone. Again, I'm just going to take a moment to highlight if you haven't seen it. It doesn't matter that the first high was up and out there in the bull resistance power zone. It's this fact that we see this formation of this price lower high, and then we can follow up with identifying an RSI lower high in the bear resistance power zone, right? These two red lines. Once you see that, you can draw the line. Now, what you see here, this gray dashed line, is not a PowerPoint tool like you saw on the other slides. This was actually on my charts for my subscribers. And if they knew this signal because they had access to this course, I didn't need to spell it out for them. They know what to do. Now, there was a bit of a consolidation here, right? We had a bit of downtrend going, but then sideways. That's okay, because we're looking at the third touch of the line. I understand that I have a lower trend line as well, but the dominant trend was not up in this condition. It was down. After a correction, a lower high was established. And I define that because even though we didn't break below that 29.1775, it basically came to it. It's a retest of the low. And so until we take out 29.3425, this is a downtrend condition. So it was this lower high that becomes actionable. But it's not actionable on its own, right? We use price to confirm. That's like a banner every trader should make and sleep below. Use price to confirm. Here's what happened. In case you missed it, this is the chart where the RSI sell setup came in on the trend line. Now, yes, you're going to be like, oh, but Hima, we whipsawed above, right? We got all this nasty price action. This was what happened afterwards. This is why you use price to confirm. This is a perfect example of why you don't just go selling or shorting when you see this signal. So when you use price to confirm and you're trading this and you're looking at this, well, yeah, we broke above that, but we didn't close above it. That was just a spike, total fake out. And from there, we fell very sharply lower. On the intraday charts, on the 15-minute, 5-minute, any day trader would be seeing that. Now, 60-minute charts shape the trend for you, but you're not necessarily trading directly off them. So here's the move that unfolded. At 2:18 p.m. Eastern, we had a high at 29.36. You guys tell me what was going on September, so this was September 26th, right? The chart from the next day. What happened on Wednesday, September 26th around 2 p.m. Eastern? Y'all should be aware, whether you were trading that time or not. Wednesday afternoon, last week, any big news? Anything happen? How about the Fed? How about the FOMC meeting? Exactly, Muriel, right. It was expected rate hike, right? But still, people have their expectations, market does its thing. So most people are just like sitting hands tied, not trading. So I'm not saying that, if you don't want to trade on an FOMC, don't. But my point is that just because there's news or some aberration of fundamental forces, it doesn't negate that this can work. So here's the move that unfolded just a couple minutes after the release, high at 29.36. So it was an initial rally after the news, then boom, fell right almost into the close. 3:49 p.m. low at 2907.5. The way the ES works is that each point is $50. So if you do the math, that's a move of $1,425 in a little over an hour and a half. Not too shabby, right? And that's just the size of the move. How much you get out of it, of course, would be less, right? I'm not showing you a crystal ball that picks market tops and bottoms, but I'm showing you how to use momentum to trade with the pre-existing trend. It's not just about trend reversals. That's why the name of our class tonight is more than mean reversion, because mean reversion just means coming back like a rubber band snapping back to the middle. That's what all those other signals like divergences and things are about. And they're useful. But what about when you're in a persistent trend? This can really help you out. All right, so if this was a helpful example, you're getting the flow here. You guys please type Z for ESZ contract, and we'll keep it moving. Super. Okay. Now, a couple of important tips now that you've seen a few examples of this one signal. Using RSI Trendline entry signals, this is very important. We are not concerned about the trend line staying intact long after getting the third touch signal. You can leave it on your chart for observation, but don't be concerned if you take your sell signal action, which again, you've confirmed with price. Don't be concerned with that RSI trend line after that. It's only good for that third signal, or that third touch, I should say. Fourth or fifth touch signals may occur, but we are focusing on the third touch only. Again, this is based off combining with my Gann analysis and my understanding of trends and the best time to take advantage of trend moves. Fourth and fifth touch signals, if they occur, generally are too late in the trend and they don't give you enough reward for the risk. It's the third touch that's like the magic sweet spot, okay? So these are two important points when looking for this signal, which now, between understanding the power zones, knowing that signal, you can run off with this and start to experiment and practice. I used to do that when I was starting out and only was funded by my dad for educational purposes, right? Couldn't just kind of go invest here and there. But if you feel like, all right, this is something that's resonating with you and you want to kind of dive deeper in, then I bet questions like these are popping in your head. How do you determine where to place protective stops? How about trailing stop placement, right? A stop that's trailing is following your order, following your current trade and locking in profit. Are there other entry signals associated with RSI Power Zones? Yes. How do I put all this together from the first steps of making a trade to the last one? Well, that's where we take a few minutes to talk about top trading strategies using RSI Power Zones, okay? If you have any of my other courses, the structure is similar, but the content in here is 100% unique, completely different than what's in anything else I do. I do not overlap on the educational content at all. So rest assured that it is not just a repackaging or anything. So here is what you get in that course. So you get all the rest of the education, right? I just showed you one signal, and they're video tutorials. Actually, it's one tutorial right now, and it's about maybe 2.5 hours of content, pure content, no intro, no nothing. And it walks through a couple different things. For example, how to incorporate RSI Power Zones into all 8 phases of the trading process. In my book that I wrote back in 2012, I laid out the trading process in 8 phases. 8 and GAN have a special relationship. And I use that here to help you make the most of RSI Power Zones, from the trend assessment phase and signal observation all the way down to trade exit and review. It covers all of that. I give you specific trade setups. They are adjustable based on your risk tolerance, because we're not all the same cat, right? We all have different amounts of risk we can tolerate. Some of us can scalp, some of us only want to trend trade, etc. So these are just some of the topics. There's more, but it's just a video tutorial educational content on demand. You can watch it anytime. The other instant access item that you get right away is what I call cheat sheets. So this is a PDF deck, and you can download it and just keep it on your machine or print it out. And here, for example, is one sheet that's in there. How do you filter your trades using trend to decide which of these trades to take? And I give the setups that I use. So this entire completed cheat sheet is in the course, along with other pages in it, and you can download and use that deck right away. Okay, so we've got the video tutorial, we've got the cheat sheets. Now, there's also a live bonus session. This is for us to review together, because while all this online accessibility you guys have is awesome, trust me, when I started a long, long time ago to learn about the markets, I only had physical books. That's it, whatever my dad gave me. And I was lucky enough that he would invest the time and energy to head out to New York City for, different events, or sometimes even fly to different states. But it took so much time and energy just to learn one thing. You guys can get all this right now and have access to it digitally for life. So trust me, you are a better time, especially if you're new to these things, than I was. But live bonus session is still something that can't be replaced, right? I can have automation and bots and everything, but you cannot, clone Hima, at least for now. So what we're going to do is all of us here in this class of this course together will get together Friday, October 26th at noon, okay? End of the week, but midday, and we're all going to get together and we're going to review. I'm going to take your questions in advance and have answers ready. I'm going to review your markets with you. You'll provide your ticket requests. The session will be recorded and put into your portal for lifetime access. So you have all of that as an extra review, and you have plenty of time, given that it's October 4th, to go through the content, figure out your questions and more, okay? So all of this is packaged up special for you guys today. Now, when you look at the retail value of this, the on-demand video education, the cheat sheets, that's a retail value of $1,997. The retail value of a live Q&A group bonus session with me, $197. Put this together, that's a value of $2,194. But you can get all this for just a one-time investment. This is not a subscription, just one time, and you get lifetime access to the content plus one live bonus session with me for $297. And you can sign up at himareddy.com/top, T-O-P, as in the name of the course. So I'm going to come back to this information for wrap up, but a couple things I want to make point of, and I have more examples to walk through as well, or I'll take your ticket requests. So here we've got one other important point about this. I reward the action takers, people who kind of know they want to commit and jump on it, and I want to get as much time in as possible for you to review. So the doors to this are going to close tonight at 10 p.m. So we're getting close to 8 p.m. Eastern, so the doors close at 10 p.m. Eastern. So you've got a little over 2 hours to kind of lock your seat in, okay? Now, why do you need this course? Why can't you only take what you learned today and then just go ahead and be content with that? Well, you can use it, but by taking the course, you get the full Monty, if you will. You get the exit, entry, stop placements to optimize your use of RSI Power Zones. It combines my GAN analysis approach with this indicator, just like it does in my other courses, okay? I'm taking momentum and GAN and piecing them together. Save yourself time and money in the long run. Again, instead of trying to deconstruct everything I do and then recreate it for yourself, don't go through that trouble. But so far, you've just learned or heard from me, okay? This is what Norm from Ontario shared with me on his own. And I got, of course, permission for me to share. After learning Hima's RSI Power Zones Trendline Buy Signal, I tested it out on a 5-minute chart of Tesla. With this one trade, I made enough to cover the cost of her top strategies course. That's the course we're talking about right here. Okay. Now, there's a question, how do you get access to the indicator? So all of you guys, if you go sign up for the course, as soon as you're done signing up for the course, you will be led to a page that provides information on the RSI Power Zones indicator. It's just a page with information at the top. And if you scroll down, you will see that you can get it for a special offer price. And it will just be a simple kind of add it to your cart button. You don't have to fill in information anymore or anything. And you'll see all the platforms that I provide. It's all there, okay? And then if you already have it and you don't want it, you just say no thanks, okay? Yes, David, I have it for Thinkorswim. I'll rattle off verbally some of the platforms. You're gonna see this again after you sign up for the course, but I've got TradeStation, I've got Thinkorswim, I've got NinjaTrader 7 and 8, I've got Sierra Charts, I got Ensign, I got eSignal, I got MetaTrader 4, MetaTrader 5, TradingView, and the rest are on that page, okay? So I'm only gonna give you the special deal on the indicator if you commit to the education. Otherwise, I can show you where to go buy the indicator for full price anytime you want, but that's just the indicator. I reward people who get education with their indicator because that's how you actually master it, not just throwing some, easy language or something up on your screen. Now, when you sign up, here's what's going to happen. And I walk through this because I used to be confused about this process. So you're going to get a couple emails. One is your actual login access. So whether you buy the course or the course and the indicator, everything will be accessible through this same portal. And this email will direct you to the portal and your username and password. Okay, and it'll come from support@himareddy.com with this exact subject line. Then you'll get an email from GoToWebinar that hooks you in for our October 26th session together. That might take a little time. Then you get a receipt because obviously this was an investment you made and you should keep track of that. Okay, so these are the 3 emails that allow you to know you're hooked in. If you take the RSI Power Zones indicator, you'll get another receipt, but no additional email because it's the same login. Now, after the indicator, if you're interested, you'll see information about the skinny and the mini. I didn't really talk about what the skinny and the mini is today, except for the history of it. But those of you who are ES or NQ traders might want to give it a try. So the course, yes, Deanna, this course is $297. The indicator add-on is just $97. That's the sale price if you buy the course. Otherwise, it's not that price out on the internet. It's only for people who are signing up for a course with me. Okay, and then if you're interested, there's a skinny on the mini trial, and that's just $7 for 30 days, which is like the sweetest deal you're gonna get. So all of this is in sequence. Just read carefully. You can say yes, hit add to the cart, or you can say no thanks. No difference to me. I want you to only take on what you're serious about and what works for you. Cross, yes, this is different from the 4-zone system. This is completely separate education. Completely separate, completely different. So yeah, here is the summary offer. Yes, I can type in the question you're asking for it in the box. And then I'm going to show you. Okay, you guys vote now. How do we conduct this vote? I'm just going to go visually off your answers. Do you want to see more example walkthroughs? If you do, then type a W. Or do you just want to do random ticker requests? If so, type a T. So W for prepared walkthrough examples to learn the signal better. T for just random old ticker requests. Okay, I'm getting a lot of W's, so we're gonna come back to this, all right? So, oh wait, did I type the right link? Oh, I just typed himareddy.com, okay. I got distracted. How about now? Can you guys see the word top in the chat box? Can you just type in top if you see it for me, please? You can link on that, click on that link to just go to the sign up page. But we still have 8 minutes, so I'm gonna do some more walkthroughs for you. And then we'll do a couple more examples. So here is from some examples that are relevant for teaching purposes. but not super fresh, okay, just from a couple months ago, not super old either. Individual stock daily chart, again, something that a lot of people are going to look at. So Netflix, how about another FANG stock, right? Big mover. Looking at this right now, price uptrend in place, higher highs, higher lows. RSI rising trend line is what we're looking for, joining the lows in the RSI with the second low in the bull support power zone, which is the two lower lines, right? That's what I said was important. Those are two lows you could identify. And then you wait patiently. Third touch of this line ended up becoming the signal to buy, but use price to confirm. Here's the move that resulted from that. Okay, obviously there was price action after that, but this was, into early July. If you went long on May 22nd at 334.05, okay, and why do I have such specifics in here? That's all that specific entry stuff is detailed in the course. But if you entered long, that would have been your entry, and you can see what kind of potential you would have had. And now, where is Netflix? Let me go get my charts here. Netflix now is trading sideways, but went all the way up to 423. This is when the chart was about that time. Still a pretty good move that would have kicked you into, right, with this signal. Let's look at Goldman Sachs daily chart. So still an individual stock daily, but now we're going to look for a sell signal. You guys still with me? Okay. If you're in the sign up page, I understand, but this is walkthrough if you need that reinforcement. And remember, the sign up page is there, but only till 10 p.m. Eastern. Bob, your question is, what system do you recommend for forex only? All of my analysis and approaches work on any market, any time frame. So whether you're trading forex alone or trading forex on top of something else, forex and futures, etc., it will be relevant for you. All right, Andy, MT4 I use. Yes, MetaTrader 4 is what you use. So Michelle, you got the RSI Power Zones workshop, awesome. Is top trading strategies using RSI Power Zones the same course? No, 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 no. This is a good point, so I'm going to actually take a moment to pause, and I'm going to walk you through my current course offerings because they're small but mighty, okay? So I'm going to show you guys what there is here. I'm going to unpause now. Do you see a screen here that has 4 tiles, colored tiles, okay? This is the login page. So if you go to himaready.com and you go to members login, this is where you end up. Now, when you end up here, you have choices. And one choice is to go to the skinny and the mini. And what's in there? Well, you'll see that in the video as you move through the sign up process tonight. Bunch of stuff. These other 3, let me use drawing purposes. This is my first ever workshop that I made and launched last year. A lot of you may have it. But what we are focusing on tonight is this, top trading strategy using RSI Power Zones. And everything in here is completely different than what's in there. It just was the next course I built. And at the time, frankly, that was the best name we could come up with, all right? Sometimes the naming is a little bit of left to the end. I'm more focused on the content I put in there. So, whoops, here we go. So this is the course that doors are open to tonight. It is completely different than this. Just because it says RSI Power Zones, that's the only similarity is that it's using the same indicator. So do follow Michelle, but this is a totally different course, okay? This is why I'm not including the RSI indicator in this bundle, because quite a few of you might already have it, and I don't want to charge you twice for something you already have. When I first launched all this, because of the structure of the portals, it was very limited. I didn't have a choice. Now I have, honestly, a better developer and technology person. So we're able to do it where you can just get this education, or if you add the indicator, you'll see that populate too, if you're brand new to my work, okay? And then this is another course, Top Forecasting Methods Using Pretty Market Points. That's market timing, and that's coming up next week for offer, but that you can see on my calendar at any time, himaready.com/events. It only has the next week or so out because my schedule can honestly change very quickly. But what you're here for today, what you just learned that signal is in here, okay? So I'm gonna do one more walkthrough, and then I wanna make sure I take some ticker requests. Let's look at GS daily chart. Ready? So here we go. Price downtrend. Look for a falling trend line joining RSI highs with the second high forming in the bear resistance power zone. Third touch becomes the sell setup. Use price to confirm. Yes, cross. You can use RSI to stay in a trade and then use it as exit strategy. I actually addressed that in the course. So everybody here with me on GS, you see that this sell setup came through. You've got 1, 2, 3 touches. Please type a G for me if you're still in here. The only reason you should type a G for me though is if you're not over getting yourself signed up, but you want to see some examples and then you're going to go sign up, and that's fine. I understand. Okay, cool. Now, boom shaka. That is my very professional way of saying, wow, what a move that unfolded. What if you went short April 23rd at this price? And then, see, look, my entry is not at the top. I'm not claiming to be a person who has a crystal ball and picks highs and lows of markets, but I'm looking to get that big chunk in the middle. Go short at this pink arrow, right where it starts here. Go long at this, or exit long at this blue arrow, right where it is here. That was a $15.60, 66-cent move in 11 trading days. I think that's pretty great. Okay. Now, this was another ES signal, so it's 8 o'clock. You guys are putting tickers in, so I'm going to take your ticker request. So those of you still here, I'm going to do a couple more minutes. I am a guest in the TradeThirsty room, so I can't stay too long, but I don't think anyone's going to yell at me for another 5 minutes. So I will go ahead and, yeah, I'll just bring back that information for you guys since you're asking for it. Okay, I'm going to move along here. So here we go. This is the summary again. You get on-demand education right away. You get cheat sheets to download right away. If you buy the indicator in the process that moves you along, you'll get that right away too, and you can download it and set it up. My support team is on deck Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern. So if you have any issues, they'll be there bright and early tomorrow to help you out, okay? But you can get hooked into everything tonight and get set up. Now, the Q&A bonus session is the only thing that's not instant gratification, okay? We have to wait. You guys need to watch the material. You need to study. You need to come up with questions for me and tickers for me, and then we go through it all together. So these doors are open, yes, till 10 p.m. Eastern, so about 1 hour and 59 minutes to go. So meantime, I'm going to bring over my TradeStation charts. And now we're going to just do freestyle, I call it, where you see my true technical analysis prowess, and you just tell me whatever tickers you want. I just have this list here because it's just like a reference point, but let's just go for it. Okay, INTC. INTC, I like that you asked about that, Harmeet, because I just pointed it out recently, I think yesterday. And so it's right now pulling back after making a recovery higher. Now, I don't see, actually, we can draw this right here as a setup for an RSI Trendline buy. Now remember, I'm moving through this quickly, so you have to double check all of this work. And why do I say this? You might be like, well, Hima, we were in a downtrend. Yeah, but take a look, and let me spread out the price action to make a point here. Take a look at what's been unfolding. If you know traditional technical analysis, Gann analysis, you will see that we are now breaking above a recent lower high. So now we have an option where we might actually be resuming this trend higher. So it's the bull trend or price uptrend possibly forming situation. So where would you buy? If the RSI comes back to this trend line and we're still in an uptrend, meaning still above this latest higher low from September 28th, okay? And okay, ISRG. If you guys want something, please give me a specific ticker, not an asset class. You tell me what markets you care about, because you could say something very broad like stocks, but I need to know what stocks you want to look at, okay? So here we go. This is ISRG. There's some old analysis on here. I'm going to take that off. I'm going to draw a trend line here that may or may not have produced a viable signal, but we're going to find out. So this was not a signal that you would have drawn for an RSI trendline sell, but those of you who've taken my RSI Power Zones workshop or 4 zones RSI coverage system, which are the same thing, they just have different coaching, you recognize what this sell signal is. This is a bearish divergence in the bear resistance power zone. So for today's education, I don't see a setup yet for a trendline buy or sell, but we are weakening off a bearish divergence. Now, the bearish divergence impact may be already playing out. Why do I say that? Because we're already back in the bull support power zone. But the whole game will change if we fall below this September 6th low, okay? That's the deal for ISRG. Okay, NVIDIA. I did a speaker panel this week, and NVIDIA, out of all the hundreds of people who submitted ticker requests, or NVIDIA, sorry, I call it NVIDIA, I don't know why, NVIDIA, this was the top requested ticker. And I had a recommendation, which I now have to try to jog my memory to remember. I think it was that we are not at a point to add a new position on. This is kind of been churning, but big picture, it's an uptrend. And wait, there's just, I don't have a setup for you. I'm not going to make one up just to kind of entertain the folks, you know. I'll give you what I see here. So, all right, so let's look at Euro USD. Here we've got weakening after reaching the bear resistance power zone. And it's just weak. I don't have anything else to say right now. I don't see a setup. Now, what I do see possibly that may emerge is if we recover right now. Okay, so hold on. If we get a bounce here in price, so this is me pretending I'm God and simulating price action. Okay, this is all simulation, guys. Remember the warning. I don't have a crystal ball. If this price action unfolds, which actually, let me pick a different color. I'm gonna pick so many choices here, lovely choices in this area. Okay. So those of you who signed up for the course, because I know a bunch of you did, drop a ticker in for me. Just say signed up and give me your ticker, because then I'll make sure we look at it from now, and either I review it tonight or I take a look at it and I get ready on it for you into the bonus session. I think that would be a really cool exercise. I don't often do that, but my team is letting me know that class is filling up. So, okay, NQZ8, Tom. Okay, so let's go NQ. So this is the daily chart of front month NQ futures. We had a very, very nasty day today. Take a look at the resistance holding in the RSI power zones. But like with all this choppy upside, the power zones in the daily have not been super reliable, right? That's why you have to refine to other time frames sometimes. Now take a look at this mess that occurred, okay? This was such a mess here. And it got so oversold, went down to 13, I mean, blew through our bear support power zone. But when did it start weakening? What was the clue, guys? Even if you just had the indicator, what was the clue? Right here. And do I spy an RSI trendline sell? Oh boy, let's see. So let me go erase. Let me go get the actual tool here. Okay, downtrend in price. I have to draw this separately. Well. See, sometimes I need to look at a blank chart even to discover my own signals. I did not see that emerging on Monday. So I do NQ updates on Mondays and Wednesdays only, but I do the ES every day. Check that out. How beautiful was that? Boom. 9 o'clock yesterday morning started to clue you in that things might be rolling over. Confirm with the setup on price. So that means if you broke below the noon low, then you'd have your first indications to go short. And this is the party to the downside you would have had. Okay, I'm writing down on a Post-it. I don't even trust digital things sometimes. I need real paper that I can keep handy. So the signed up tickers I'm writing down. So we got, oh, that was NG, Tom. Sorry, I thought you said NQ. Well, that's okay. How about some natural gas? Okay. Let's everybody look at it now so that when we're in the session on October 26th, we can all come back and see, well, what happened with it? So this is natural gas right now. This was some past market timing I did on it. That second one was pretty useful, right, for the summer high. But then we rallied, burst out, holding bull support power zone, making our way back to this upper high. I don't see any current signal for you to act on at the moment, but I'm going to write this down. That was it, Tom, right? Okay. NG and TNDM. Okay, TNDM. Ooh. Well, big falling correction, but we might be at the end of it. Why? Because based just on this daily chart, I see we've returned to the bull support power zone. Doesn't mean we can't keep falling, but I would keep an eye on it. And from there, let's see, we may stabilize. So I would be cautious. If you're short, tighten up your stops. Don't sell anymore, is my opinion. If you're looking to go long, you need a little more time to wait. Okay. Okay, BA, Michelle BA, awesome. I will see you on the 26th. BA was another commonly asked about stock in that panel I did this week. So here's a very specific piece of information for you guys that I have a time point. So this is based on separate analysis, not momentum, for October 24th. That October 24th may lead to a significant point at which there's a trend reversal or a trend acceleration. We won't know until we look at the price action going into it, okay? October 24th. But right now, here's an example of where you would draw the setup, but this market was so strong it didn't correct back down. Sad, right? However, there's something else going on here that's very, very close to being the signal, one of the other signals I teach in the course, Michelle. So you'll see that when you watch the recording. But the biggest thing now, I think everyone can see, we broke out from a giant base on Boeing, big time, and looks like we're still on the move. We have not reached the bull resistance power zone. And how do we know that that will be useful in this market? This is when you look at past price history, and you don't need, really fancy tools to do this. Okay, I'm going to walk you through. This is a good example. Overbought zone. Then after this, we went sideways, and all the RSI did was relieve overbought conditions and go back to the bull support power zone. That's all. Just kind of relaxed a little bit. From there, run up higher. Where did this run up a higher end? Bull resistance power zone. From there, big correction downward. What did the RSI do? On the daily chart, all it did was come back to the bull support power zone. Now, when we had this run up, we had a higher high in price, but a lower high in the RSI. Those of you who took RSI Power Zones workshop or 4 zones coverage system know that, and who have been to an open webinar on this, know that's a bearish signal, and it leads to a potential substantial fall to trade. So this was a nice move if you're looking for counter trend. After that, it was just kind of messy. But look where liftoff happened. Before we broke out, this happens very often that if you're going to break out to the upside, consolidating from a prior uptrend. So what I mean is this, I need a different pen color. We had a prior uptrend, then we consolidated. If we're going to break out up from that, 95% of the time, and that's just a guesstimate number, I don't have a stat on it, but very, very, very often, the basing in momentum will start in the bull support power zone. That will be your early clue. It's not necessarily something you trade, but it gives you a heads up. And then when you get the follow-up breakout in price, you have more confidence to take the move, okay? All right, so I will take 2 more ticker requests because nobody's kicking me out yet. So let's make it a nice even 8:15. And if you guys got your ticker requests, okay, I see CELG. All right, so here we are making potentially an RSI trendline sell signal. Let's see, here we go. Drawing the line, this is where we see it. So by strict definition, we have not touched it on that third lower high, but we do have weakness after forming a potentially new lower high. If you're going to take a short on Celgene, I would have a protective stop out above August 31st if you can afford it. And your downside targets I've already drawn out because I had that sentiment on this, okay? Again, I don't have a crystal ball. I just have a lot of experience. So these are your downside targets on Celgene. So who asked for Celgene? Harmeet, I hope that helps you out. Alrighty, guys. It's 8:13. Ulta. I'm a Sephora gal myself, but let's check out Ulta Beauty. Now, broke above a resistance I had. Blue is resistance, pink is support in my world. That old resistance becomes new support. We're consolidating after reaching the bull resistance power zone. The angle on these two lows, I can tell is pretty shallow, but we can draw the line, absolutely. So let's draw the RSI trend line connecting RSI high or low. And if we get that third touch and we get price to confirm by forming like a swing low here, that might be a nice long opportunity. Okay, last one, RUT. So let me go back to my screen because my TradeStation symbol is a little different. RTY. Is that what you meant? RTY? Or if you meant RT, something RUT, just tell me again. Okay, I'll just proceed with RTY. So here you can see I had a combination of different trend lines all converging upon each other, okay? And when this occurred, boom, this led to a meeting of price and time that led to an acceleration in this downward price move. So what's next? This old high in terms of price support, we're weak on the RSI still. No, nothing really to write home about. We're weak, it's staying weak. I would not take any new action. Okay. All right, guys, well, I appreciate your attention span tonight. And beautiful vocals. Thanks, Chris. All right, so you guys have the information to get hooked into the course, and you got, I think, pretty clear now. You get on-demand video tutorials and cheat sheets. That's just there right away. Q&A bonus session is October 26th at noon. If you can't attend live, you will get the recording access for life. When you sign up for the course, you're going to be introduced to the RSI Power Zones indicator. If you don't have it already, that's a great deal for you to take it. It will not be offered to you at that price any other time. And whether you take the indicator or not, you will get information on the skinny and the mini. Again, you can take any of those special offers with one click of a button, but if you don't want them, just make sure you hit the no thanks button. Again, really, it's all up to you, what markets you trade, what you want to learn, what you want to commit to, okay? So I'm going to, leave this up for a couple minutes so you guys can have the information, no problem. Like I said, until TradeThirsty kicks me out, we're all good. On your way out, I would love if you can tell me, and be honest, I'm a big girl, you won't hurt my feelings. On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being I should have done something else, watched some must-see TV, 10 being I learned something that I think I can actually go use to make money with, please rate this session here tonight on your way out, between 1 to 10. And then definitely look forward to seeing a lot of you that have been signing up here in the course on the 26th in our live session. And of course, if you have questions along the way, write them down, jot them down. If they're quick questions, my team should definitely be able to help you. Otherwise, we're going to be here for you and we're all going to review together. It's going to be awesome. Okay, great. So yeah, this is up and available for another hour and 45 minutes, 44 to be exact. I've got my mom visiting and I can smell her home cooked Indian food wafting up to my office. It's like torture, totally being honest with you. I even asked her, I'm like, listen, Mom, I'm teaching tonight, so I'll just see you after 7 Central. She's like, okay. And I feel like just to tease me because I'm her daughter, she started the cooking early, but I'm here for you guys. If you have questions, my team will help you out tomorrow morning. Otherwise, have a great night, okay? I'm gonna shut my mic off and I'll leave this information here for a little bit. Take care, bye.